Russia's coronavirus cases have now surpassed 520,000. On Friday, President Vladimir Putin has made his first public appearance in weeks at a Russia Day ceremony in Moscow. He did not wear a mask and shook hands with others. Critics say Putin has not taken the pandemic seriously enough. Now, more people are questioning the country's reporting of the coronavirus crisis. The death toll remains significantly lower than in other countries, despite citing the third highest number of infections worldwide. And some family members of people who've recently died are now calling for more clarity.
Anna Klochkova wants justice for her mother. Galina Aleynik died on May 21st in a hospital in Russia's Yaroslavl region. She was a receptionist at a medical center. Anna's convinced her mother caught the coronavirus at work.
My husband gave me a sewing machine and I sewed her masks out of 4 layers of bandages with rubber bands. She wasn't given anything at work.
The novel coronavirus is listed as one of the causes of her mother's death. But Anna says she still hasn't found her mother in the official COVID-19 statistics. Russia has officially registered around 7,000 coronavirus deaths, which is extremely low compared to other European countries. A World Health Organization official recently said Russia's death rate is, quote, hard to understand. Russian officials have said the low number is due to widespread testing and an effective medical system. We base our statistics on the new international classification guidelines of the WHO and on recommendations on diagnosing COVID-19 as a cause of death. But analysts have said regional and national numbers look doctored. For example, on April 30th, there were 7,099 new infections in Russia. On May 8th, 10,699. On the 12th, 10,899. And on the 24th, 8,599. Boris Ovchinnikov is a data analyst. He told DW the statistical likelihood that the numbers would end in 99 4 times in that period is implausible. It seems like they intended to report a round number. But they also knew that people might find that a bit suspicious. So before they published the figures, they changed all of them to 99. The fact that Anna Klochkova's mother has been omitted from the list of coronavirus dead made her funeral feel even more unfair.
I was told she had to be in a closed casket and in a body bag. They didn't allow us to pass on her cross and her clothes. The coffin was nailed shut. We don't even know who's in the coffin, or if it's even her in there.
And what was worse, Anna herself couldn't attend the funeral because she'd caught the coronavirus, probably from her mother, and was in quarantine.
Well, for more, let's bring in Alec Loon. He's a correspondent for the Daily Telegraph in Moscow. Alec, thanks for joining me. Russia's strict coronavirus lockdown measures were eased this week, but today new figures show the nationwide tally of confirmed COVID-19 infections now exceeds 520,000. Are people worried?
You would think they would be, but the general atmosphere here does definitely not show that. I've seen a lot of people walking around without masks, even though Moscow technically has a requirement that anyone in public wear a mask. A lot of people aren't wearing masks or just pulling them down around their face. And I don't think that's necessarily surprising given the picture that people who listen to and watch Russian media are getting. Russian state television has really focused on what the authorities are doing to combat this pandemic. A very rosy picture is being presented. And I think more importantly, it's not really relevant to the authorities here what people are thinking about this crisis. For Vladimir Putin right now, the most important thing is to hold the Victory Day parade next week and then hold a constitutional vote the week after that. And all a national vote to show the people support his move to change the Constitution and allow himself to remain in power until 2036.
Yeah. Now, as we've been reporting, as we just reported in that piece, there's new data suggesting Russia may have even more COVID-19 deaths than they've been reporting. Why might there be such a discrepancy in the figures?
Well, it really appears that the Russian authorities were counting differently than the rest of the world, essentially. Patients that had coronavirus, along with other complications, other conditions, who then died, were registered as dying from another condition in many cases, rather than from the coronavirus that likely brought about the incident. So essentially, unless the coronavirus is shown to be the main cause by doctors or whoever's doing an autopsy, then the patient's not registered as a coronavirus death, which leads to a death rate that is somewhere around 1% here, far less than in other countries. Now the authorities say that they're going to start registering deaths where coronavirus was accompanied by other conditions, but we still haven't seen that reflected in the numbers yet.
Alec Loon from the Daily Telegraph, correspondent in Moscow, thanks very much for your reporting.